Hi there. I was going to do this video for my team that I work with, that I mentor with, that I help with their health coaching practices. And then I decided that this was really pretty much life hacking for anybody. So here you go. People are always asking me, how do you get so much done in a day? And there's no secret, there's no magic. It's just one of those things where I keep track of things. I try to keep my stress down as it relates to scheduling, and that was kind of one of the healthy habits that I had to adopt early on when I left a very high stress job and started working on my own. So working on your own can be very stressful for people because so much hits them, especially if you're running your own business. It can be confusing as to how you're going to spend your day. So very early on, I adopted, and again, none of this is original, but I adopted the practice of what we call time blocking. So I know when I have to be someplace, for example, that is at a non-negotiable time. It's an appointment. It could be an appointment on the phone. It could be a video conference. It could be a doctor's appointment for myself, for my son. It could be anything that is scheduled and timed. Hard rock, not negotiable. That goes in my calendar. I use a Google online calendar. I find it helpful. I like having everything at my fingertips, on my phone, on my laptop, on my iPad, so I can see things, I can move it around, I can have automatic reminders. If you know me, you know I'm big on that. But when I use my Google Calendar, the first things that go in there that get blocked off are appointments, and if there's travel time, that'll get blocked off too. It's color-coded so that there's no mistaking, there's no double scheduling, and it's just there. It would include time travel. Oh my goodness, you know where my head is. It would include travel time if that was an appointment that required travel. So that would be blocked off. I wouldn't book anything else in there, and the people that have access to my calendar link wouldn't be able to book anything in there. But then, so those are the easy things. Most people have a quick, good handle on those non-negotiables, whether it's a wall calendar or a family calendar. But then come all the other things that you want to get done, or you need to get done. They're good for your business, they're good for your personal. I mean, it could be stuff from appointments that you need to make that require you to make phone calls in a place with a calendar. It could be grocery shopping for the week. It could be cooking for the week. So those kind of things that have a lot of flexibility, I never try to keep anything in my head. If you know me, you know that I won't even commit to anything unless I can write it down or drop it right into my calendar. So when I work with a team, everybody knows that if they want to connect with me, they know exactly how, and they know my availability based on the link that they get to my calendar. You don't need a link if that's not something that's relevant to you, but that having people link to my calendar taught me to run an awesome calendar, something that I trust, something that's fairly meticulous, as meticulous as it can be, certainly with the scheduled appointments. And you know, I speak to certain clients between, 3 and 5 every Monday and Thursday, let's say, if they're twice a weekers. And then I have certain clients that I speak to weekly on Wednesdays. So those clients, if they're time specific, in other words, I can only catch them between 2 and 2:30, then that goes in just like an appointment. If they're not time specific, they're flexible, they welcome my call anytime, then they go in a different color. They might go in to the slots where I know I'm going to be at home working, focused. But if it's something that I would like to get done, let's say, and this is probably one of my biggest hacks, something that I would like to get done personally, I do write that in my calendar. I include it in my online calendar. I'm watching the clock. I include that in my online calendar without a time, because then I can just drop it in. Oh, wow, I have some freedom here. I really like going grocery shopping on Wednesdays. That works for me. So I will check my calendar. Typically for me, it's the night before. Very often it's the morning, but mostly it's the night before. But I do a lot of that over the weekend in the upcoming week. So for example, I just said I like to go grocery shopping on Wednesday. This week, I have to cook Zev's food for a couple of weeks, and I have somebody that comes to help me. Zev gets pureed food. So for example, somebody comes to help me puree my amazing lady. She comes to help me on Fridays. So I know that I want to be cooking it on Thursday, so I got to get to the grocery store sometime before Thursday. So today was the day that I looked at my calendar, saw what I call purple rocks, because my non-negotiable appointments are in purple, dark purple, because that's a fun, happy color for me. So that's in my calendar. And grocery shopping, I just took a look at Wednesday. I have something that I'd like to do on Wednesday at a certain time. It's not urgent. I put that in. And then, for example, grocery shopping just got placed in a little slot as early as I can get out in the morning after Zev leaves. And now that it's still flexible. If somebody calls me and it seems like it's an appointment that I really want to make happen, I might move the grocery shopping. I might switch it to a Peapod order if I have to. And grocery shopping is just one of the minor examples of something that's pretty flexible. I'd like to do it on Wednesday. Could be done on Tuesday. It could really also be done on Thursday, but I would like to do it on Wednesday. So that's in my calendar. It's kind of blocked in a different color than purple. Nobody else can book a time in there, but I can switch things around. So very often I use Sundays. Not a lot of time to kind of look over what happened last week, what things I may have pushed off to this week, things that went really well. I might just give myself a woohoo about it. But I very often do at some point on Sundays, Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. I like to do it Sunday morning because I can squish in some stuff on Sunday. Sundays are really flexible for me typically. And that's my planning for the week. Why do I talk about this? How does it relate to life? So for me, again, 7 years ago, I was in a massively high stress position. I was a manager in a nursing home. I loved what I did, but I was really very stressed. Getting things in was impossible. Things were always getting done when it was after the fact or too late, not because I didn't want to, because I didn't have a scheduling method. I didn't have time. I didn't have that kind of flexibility. So for me, this is an extremely important habit of health. It minimizes my stress. One thing, if any of you have ever read the David Allen book, Getting Things Done, and that's a heavy book for some people, but one of the things that he talks about, and if you implement nothing from his concept and how he teaches, it's get everything out of your head and onto paper. So for me, paper is often my Google Calendar or some sort of a list. For today, this is my pad. I always have a pad of shopping list, or it's a paper or something. And I have on this one piece of paper all the stores that I tend to go to in the course of a week. For me, it's Trader Joe's, Costco, the kosher store, CVS, and a general grocery store. And I kind of add to that list over the next couple of days. I may not go to all those stores this week. Those are things that will come up or have come up. That is stuff that I need. I might go to all of them if it becomes critical and the house needs stuff. But I'm going to look and I'm going to go, wow, you know what? That grocery stuff, I really need that. Like, that's priority number one. That, by the way, is already scheduled for Wednesday, so I can cook on Thursday, so I can have my awesome lady puree it on Friday. And it's just an example, but one of the things that you really want to take away from this is don't waste your brain RAM remembering things. Write them down. Find a place that you're going to trust. For me, it's my Google Calendar. I live in it. It doesn't remind me of everything. It only reminds me of the timely things. But it's very clear. It's very visual. It's very easy to move things around in there. And mine's color-coded. So those colors also help me stick to it. I write certain things down. The grocery list is generally written down. I'm the only one that does it. I don't need to share it with anybody. I may look at that whole list and go, oh, we don't really need anything this week, and it'll be sitting there till next week. I may turn that whole grocery list into a Peapod order. For those of you that don't know, that's online ordering, because for me, that's just another one of those things that I use to minimize stress. And then the last thing that I want to share and close with, and if you like these tips, let me know, because always ask, how do I get stuff done? How do I figure this out? I help the people on my team individually, obviously, and as a group. I work with my clients, for example, on how to meal prep. If you want a video on that, let me know. But one of the most important things is when you wake up in the morning, spend 2 to 5 minutes just setting these mental intentions of where you want to go. How do you want the day to go? What can you do? Which parts are in your power that you can make it go simpler and with the least amount of stress? And then in the evening, and journaling is awesome for both of these, but in the evening, you want to really kind of celebrate and express gratitude for what did go well, for what worked for you, because that's going to help you create more of those days. So I hope you find this helpful. Send me a message. Let me know. And what do we eat? What do we shop? What do we do? If you want more information on that, just let me know. Anyway, happy Sunday. Have a great week. Most of the time, how our week goes is up to us. Most of the time, how our week goes is up to us. Mentally, with our mental health, with our physical health, what you plan on doing, and make it a good one.